With the star power we had on this week's episode of Raw, it should have been so much better. Picture this. We had Brock Lesnar, we had Roman Reigns, we had Cody Rhodes, we had the Usos, we had CM Punk. On the women's side, we had AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Lash Legend, Nia Jax. We had Rey Mysterio on the show. We had Penta on the show. We had Solo Sikoa on the show. We had the Ring General Gunther on the show. We had so many big name, big stars on the show. I'm like, it should have been so much better. Like, it wasn't terrible, but we can't be getting the same thing for 3 weeks straight, and you're trying to build a PLE. For 3 weeks straight, we've been getting a little promo segment, a big brawl between the War Games team, a little promo segment, and a big brawl between the War Games team. This isn't adding any hype. But besides that, though, they have all these stars showing up to do absolutely nothing. For example, that Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes end-ring promo we got, the first segment of the night, it wasn't terrible. You had all these stars out there, but they could have cut a way better promo. The whole gist of that promo was that Roman was telling Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, I hate you guys, but I hate the Vision a lot more. And that was basically the essence of the promo. It should have been so much better. So much better. But with that being said, though, it definitely could have been a whole lot worse. And it wasn't terrible, but I'm just still kind of disappointed nonetheless. But anyways, though, so this video's not too long. We're just going to jump right into the review, right into the breakdown. But before all that, though, as always, our quote of the day. Quote of the day. Some days your heart feels heavier than your hands can hold. On those days, let grace carry what you can't. He helps tired people be strong. He gives power to those who are weak. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 29. That is our quote of the day. Now let's get right into this video, right into this review, right into this breakdown. So for this week's episode of Raw, we started off with an OTC in-ring promo. We got an in-ring promo from the OTC himself, Roman Reigns. So this was basically an in-ring promo from Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk. So all three of those men were in the ring, just basically questioning each other's motives, their morals, where their heads are at, why they're involved in this war game, what's in it for each other, what's in it for them, what's in it for Roman, what's in it for Cody, what's in it for Punk. I'm like, it's kind of too late to be questioning each other at this point. You've already set up the team. You've already agreed. You fought beside each other already. What are you questioning? Why are you part of this 1 week before? A couple of days before the PLE, as a matter of fact. Anyways, the Roman Reigns ended up making his entrance first, and he came out to the ring, and he ended up telling OKC to acknowledge the OTC, and that was that. And before he could say anything else, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes ended up coming out and interrupting. So Cody Rhodes basically came in the ring, and he told Roman Reigns, "You're a man of your word, I'll give you that. But I know why I'm involved in War Game. Why are you involved in War Game? What's in it for you?" And Roman Reigns went on to tell Cody Rhodes, "Last time I checked, I've been in this war. You're just joining now. I don't like you, Cody. I barely even know you, as a matter of fact. But the one thing we have in common is that we both don't play about our family. Half of this team is my family anyway, so what are you questioning me about?" So Cody Rhodes basically told Roman Reigns, "Welcome to my team." So this is Cody Rhodes' team, supposedly. Then after this, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns went on to get interrupted by CM Punk. And CM Punk came out, basically told both men that this is an all-star War Games lineup, an all-star War Games team. Now, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes already has your word, but I don't need it. But let me just remind you, if you stab me in the back at War Games, you'll be stabbing your own family in the back. And Cody, who said this was your team anyway? This is my show. This is Raw. This is Monday Night Raw. You could go over there on SmackDown and say, this is your team. This is your show. But this right here, I'm the champion. This is my team. And they were basically bickering about whose team it was, who was the team captain, essentially. Roman Reigns then went on to tell both men that I don't care whose team it is. I hate Paulie and the Vision way more than I hate you guys. So that's my word. That's my promise. And oh, hey, since we're being honest, let me just say, both of those championships, both of those titles would look a lot better on my shoulder. And Roman Reigns drops the mic and just walks out. So I'm like, that's kind of cool. He hinted that he wants the championships back. This is probably going to lead to nothing, but I thought that was a pretty cool little jab thrown in there. But anyhow, though, that was the whole promo and that was the whole segment. And while this segment was nice, it didn't really accomplish much or even add much to PLE or add much to the hype of the PLE. So that was that. I'm like, it was kind of pointless. You had all three of these men in the ring. This is the best promo they could cut. This is the best thing they could have said. Like, they went on to have all this back and forth to say basically nothing. But anyhow, though, after this, we went on to get our first match for the night, and it was John Cena, last time is now tournament match. And we got to see the Ring General Gunther versus him, Carmelo Hayes. This was a really good match, and it was way better than I expected it to be. And let me just say, WWE needs to start putting some respect on Melo's name. That young man is so entertaining and so talented, and he without a doubt proved that again tonight. This man showed up, showed out, and absolutely brought the fight to Gunther. And I actually was even rooting for Carmelo Hayes too, because he started getting some offense, and I'm like, okay, maybe by some sheer chance, some sheer miracle, Carmelo Hayes is going to win this match. I knew it wasn't going to happen, but Melo started popping off, and the crowd was losing their mind. They were going crazy. The high-flying moves this man was pulling out, it was so entertaining, and the crowd was really behind him too. They were cheering for Melo, and Melo really got his time to shine. He really took his opportunity. He really took the chance and showed everybody why he deserved to be here. He was so entertaining in this match. But don't trip though, Gunther as well, he did his thing too, and he was really entertaining as well in my opinion. He really blended well with Carmelo Hayes. They really complemented each other, honestly. But anyways, though, at the end of the match, the ring general, Gunther, he was able to overpower and outmaneuver Carmelo Hayes, and he ended up pinning Carmelo Hayes in the middle of the sacred ring. 1, 2, 3. Gunther beats Melo, and Gunther advances in the Last Time Is Now tournament. So that's pretty cool, I guess. That's pretty neat. And I am very happy that Carmelo Hayes got his chance to shine. He got his opportunity, and he showed up, he showed out, and he absolutely sold the show. So that was nice. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But anyhow, though, after this, we went on to get an in-ring promo from Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And Dirty Dominic Mysterio was basically cutting a promo against John Cena. So Dirty Dom came out and he basically said that, Cena, in a few short days, I will embarrass you. And I'm going to put an end to this silly little retirement tour. I'm going to beat John Cena and become the greatest Mysterio of all time. And after this, out of nowhere, we heard John Cena's theme song hit. We heard John Cena's music hit. We heard the crowd losing their mind. They were erupting. We saw John Cena's graphics come up and everything. Everybody was hyped. And I'm like, I didn't even know John Cena was scheduled to be here. So we kept hearing the music play. I'm like, okay, the greatest of all time, the last real champion, the never seen 17 is about to come out. And out of nowhere, we got half Cena. We saw Cena. We saw little Cena coming out, and we Cena, half Cena, little Cena made an entrance, and we got a short little John Cena coming out to the ring with a little Stu, the cameraman, as well. And I was like, this was absolutely hilarious. I liked it. I hated it at the same time because I actually thought it was going to be John Cena, but I liked it because it was really funny and it was something unique. It was something silly. It was something goofy, and I enjoyed it for that. And it was so funny seeing that little John Cena coming out, and everybody was like, really? The crowd didn't even know what to make of it, so they were still losing their mind too. And Wade Barrett was on the commentary team being absolutely hilarious. I think he called the man John Wiener, and I was like, really? Okay, whatever. I'm all here for it. But it was hilarious. We saw half Cena coming out. And John Cena, the little version of John Cena, ended up coming out to the ring, and he cut a short promo. And little Cena, half Cena, ended up telling Dominic Mysterio, if you want some, come get some. And that was basically that. And Dirty Dominic Mysterio went on to lose his mind, and he basically committed attempt murder on this little man. He beat the life out of half Cena. He beat half Cena half to death, okay? I'm like, this little man, he was hitting off the top rope splashes on him, 619s. He big booted him right in the face. I'm like, come on, have some heart. Dominic Mysterio didn't care about any of that. It was so funny to me. But we got half Cena, short John Cena before GTA 6, so let that sink in, okay? But anyhow, after this, we ended up getting our second match of the night, and it was JD McDonough versus the Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. And this match was pretty cool. It was pretty decent for what it was. I didn't exactly hate it. I didn't exactly love it either, because I've seen JD McDonough for the past 3 weeks at this point. We saw him on Raw, we saw him on SmackDown, we saw him on Raw again, and I'm pretty sure we saw him on the Raw before that, and probably the SmackDown before that, and probably on NXT at this point. JD McDonough's all over the place. But anyhow, though, we ended up getting Mysterio versus JD McDonough. And it was a pretty decent match. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was pretty cool. It was pretty hyped for the most part. I did like seeing Rey Mysterio facing off against JD McDonough. They're both really good in the ring, so that was that. But anyhow, though, throughout the match, we got a boatload of interference from Finn Balor, so he was a big presence in the match, trying to cost Rey Mysterio the match, so that was that. But anyway, so at the end of the match, Rey Mysterio ended up hitting a 619 and a frog splash on JD McDonough for the win. And this match was basically for air. It wasn't really for any reason in particular. It just happened. So that was that. Anyhow, though, after this, we ended up getting an in-ring promo from the women's Wargame teams. So we started off with the heel team, and it was just basically Becky Lynch talking the whole time, and Becky Lynch was spewing absolute nonsense. She was saying absolute nonsense. Riddle me this, right? Becky Lynch was the last woman to be added in the women's Wargame heel team, and somehow she comes out tonight talking about I handpicked every member of this team. I formed the deadliest Wargame team. I enlisted the deadliest women in this locker room, the most dangerous, and I formed the biggest, best, baddest team for Wargame. And I'm like, how did you form the team if you were the last member added, the last member to become a part of it? How did you form this team? How did you assemble the Avengers, but you were the last Avenger to get added to the team? It doesn't make sense, Becky. But anyhow, though, we're just going to let it slide. We're going to let Becky lose her mind by herself. We're going to let it slide. Anyways, though, after this, Becky Lynch went on to cut a promo against AJ Lee. She went on to tell AJ Lee that AJ Lee made a big mistake returning to the WWE, and AJ Lee made an even bigger mistake costing Becky Lynch her championship. And Becky Lynch says that at War Games, she's going to destroy AJ Lee. At War Games, Becky Lynch isn't locked in a cage with AJ Lee. AJ Lee's going to be locked in a cage with Becky Lynch. And that was basically that. And after this, we got the women's babyface war game team coming out and making an entrance. And that was basically just AJ Lee talking for everybody, but she was basically just cutting a promo against Becky Lynch. So we could have just had Becky Lynch and AJ Lee by themselves out here, if I'm being honest, but whatever. Anyways, though, AJ Lee ended up making an entrance with the rest of her War Games team, and she basically cut the same promo that she cut when she first returned to the WWE. AJ Lee basically went on to say that therapy works. If it wasn't for therapy, she would be tearing Becky Lynch limb from limb right now, but therapy works. And that was that. And she went on to say that Becky Lynch is insecure, Becky Lynch is afraid, and AJ Lee can't wait until Becky Lynch is locked in the cage with her, because AJ Lee isn't going to be locked in the cage with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is going to be locked in the cage with AJ Lee. So AJ Lee can't wait till War Games to absolutely demolish and destroy Becky Lynch. And that was that. And after both of these women basically got what they want to say off their chest, we got a big brawl breaking out between both of these teams again, the War Games teams. And this time around, the babyface team ended up standing tall. The babyface team ended up getting the advantage. They ended up coming out on top, and they ended up dropping the women's heel team. And the babyface team got the upper hand and ended up standing tall. And that was that. Basically what we saw last week and the week before that. So whatever. Anyways, after this, we ended up getting our third match of the night. And our third match of the night was Solo Penta. And this was another Last Time Is Now tournament matchup. And this match actually ended very quickly. And unfortunately enough, during this match, Penta suffered a shoulder injury, I assume. And it was a pretty bad injury. So Penta basically went for a dive off the barricades on the outside area. So he basically went for a dive on Sosikoa. He ended up doing like this little flip thing, and he landed terribly on his shoulder. And Penta was basically out for the rest of the match. And Penta had to be basically carried out. Not really carried out, but he needed help getting to the backstage area. And Penta basically lost the match. And it was announced that, quote unquote, Penta lost due to doctor stoppage. So Penta is injured, which is pretty sad, which is pretty terrible. You never want to see that for a competitor of any sport, any place. So that's pretty sad. I hope Penta recovers very quickly. I hope it's not a terrible injury. I hope it's something light, something he could recover from in like 2 days or something. But anyways, though, like I said, Sosikoa ended up winning due to doctor stoppage because Penta did injure himself doing a flip off the barricades onto Sosikoa. Anyways, after this, we went on to get our final match of the night, our final portion of the night, and it was a Survivor Series advantage match. It was Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul versus the Usos, and the winner gets the advantage for their team at War Games. So basically what this means is that the team that wins is going to have the advantage at War Games. So if the Usos win, they're going to start off with a member from the Usos team, then Drew's team, and then the Usos team again. So it's going to be like a 2-on-1, then the heel team, then the babyface team again. And the babyface team is going to have the advantage again until basically all 5 men from each team are in the ring, and that's when it's going to be equal. So for the most part, for the majority of it, it's going to be like the heel team or the babyface team having the most members in the ring. So that's basically what that means. Anyhow, though, this match went on for pretty long, which is fine. The match was kind of entertaining, in my opinion. I kind of liked it. I kind of enjoyed it. It was pretty cool for what it was, and I like the concept behind it, and I like the stakes behind it. But anyhow, though, we ended up with Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul picking up the win. So basically, the heel team will have the advantage for War Games, and that's that. So the match was cool, but what I did dislike is that after the match ended, we got a big brawl set up between the babyface team and the heel team. We had Roman Reigns out there, we had Cody Rhodes out there, we had the Usos out there, we had Brock Lesnar out there, we had Logan Paul out there, we had the Vision out there. So we had both War Games team out there, and they were about to face off. They were about to have a huge brawl, and out of nowhere, Raw goes off air. I'm like, why did you waste all that time? And the coolest part of it, the most hype part, the most entertaining part, it happens off air. Like, plan it better. Like, this was probably going to be the most exciting part of the night. And we got so many cool spots afterwards, too. We got Logan Paul getting absolutely beat up and destroyed. And the babyface team dropped Prime energy drink all over his face. There was like a huge brawl, a huge fight and everything. And we had Brock Lesnar literally. This man was gearing up. This man was literally powering up to beat everybody. And we didn't get to see any of that on air. And you have to watch it on your own free time. Come on. That's so silly. I wanted to see that brawl so bad. It was going to be so cool. I know we saw it last week, but I'm so excited about this one. Like, you can't not get excited when you see Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in the same ring, in the same environment. Come on. I'm like, really? This is where we're going to cut it? And I have to see it on social media, if not YouTube, on like X or like Instagram or something? Come on. Plan this stuff better. Plan this stuff better. But anyhow, though, at the end of it all, though, after the whole brawl, everybody got laid out. The babyface team stood tall, and they ended up pouring Prime on Logan Paul, like I said. And that was that. That was the whole brawl. And that was your whole show, and that's how it ended. And overall, I'll probably rate this episode of Raw this week a solid, maybe a 5 out of 10. We did get a few funny moments, a few funny segments, I guess, and we did get a really nice match with that Carmelo Hayes and Gunther match, and I did really like seeing Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar showing up, and the big name stars we got on the show. I really did enjoy that aspect of it, but besides that, there wasn't anything too crazy, anything we haven't seen before, but it was still pretty decent, I want to say. It wasn't terrible. It definitely could have been a lot worse. It definitely could have been a whole lot better, but anyhow, though, like I said, a solid 5 out of 10. But anyways, though, that's your breakdown, your review of this week's episode of Raw. Thank you for showing up, thank you for hearing me out, and thank you for being here. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Like, comment, subscribe if you'd like to, and like, comment, and subscribe if you choose to. As always, it's been a pleasure. I'm out.